Hey EV enthusiasts, buckle up, because today we're diving into the world's hottest new electric beast, the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT, a machine that boasts mind-blowing acceleration, record-breaking track times, and enough power to make your hair stand on end. But is it the new king of the EV performance world? Can Tesla hold its throne? Hit that subscribe button and get ready to see if Porsche has just redefined electric supercars. Alright, let's now dive into the new king of the Porsche jungle, the Taycan Turbo GT. This electric beast isn't just powerful, it's the most powerful production car Porsche has ever made, packing a whopping 1,093 horsepower. That's more than most gasoline-fueled sports cars. The mind-blowing power of the Taycan Turbo GT is impressive, especially for a Porsche that's already established itself as a leader in the electric car market. But it does make you wonder, is the Turbo GT the ultimate evolution of the Taycan? The car that earned the title of the best electric car in the world? Or is it just a fancy way to show off some engineering muscle? I mean, come on. It's a 2.2-ton, four-door electric car painted purple with a giant carbon fiber wing on the back. You can even ditch the rear seats if you get the Weissach package, which is free by the way. Now, that might sound a little strange, but hey, if it puts a little pressure on Tesla, maybe it's worth it, right? But the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT isn't just about putting Tesla in its place. We're talking about a world where electric motors are pumping out absurd amounts of power, and the lines between car companies are blurring faster than a Tesla on ludicrous mode. Remember the little MG4? That thing packed 429 horsepower, which is mind-blowing for a car its size. Crazy, right? And here's the kicker. You can buy 5 of those for the price of one Taycan Turbo GT. This electric horsepower race is like a hot potato, getting passed between car companies faster than you can say kilowatt hour. Even companies with a long and storied history, like Porsche, are feeling the heat. They gotta remind everyone why they've been around for so long, why their cars are legendary, and why they deserve a spot in your electric garage. But is it just a super-powered show-off with a giant wing and a price tag that could buy you a small fleet of electric hatchbacks? We just got back from putting the Taycan Turbo GT through its paces on the track, and let me tell you, we've got a lot to unpack. At first glance, the Taycan Turbo GT is crazy fast. There's no doubt about it. It also has a super clever suspension system and really responsive steering. Plus, early signs suggest it might even be pretty good on efficiency, which is always a bonus for an electric car. But here's the thing, this car is still super heavy, weighing in at a whopping 2.2 tons. The brakes also felt a little on the jumpy side, and honestly, we're not quite sure what the problem this car is trying to solve. So, what's new with the Taycan Turbo GT? We're basing our first impressions on a few laps at Circuito Monte Blanco near Seville, even though it's already set records at the Nordschleife and Laguna Seca. It's still a road car, not a track car. Let's break it down a little more. The Turbo GT is based on the recently updated Taycan, which we loved in our Cross Turismo review. This new version gets some upgrades for performance, like a lighter battery and faster charging. They also managed to shave off 75 kilograms compared to the regular Taycan Turbo S, mostly thanks to a bunch of fancy carbon fiber parts, especially those lightweight bucket seats. The Weissach package takes things even further, removing the rear seats and even one of the charging ports to save another 70 kilograms. They even ditched some soundproofing and floor mats. The rear wing and new aerodynamics, including a front diffuser and air deflectors, help it achieve better performance. The regular Turbo GT reaches 180 miles per hour, while the Weissach hits 189.5 per hour and generates up to 220 kilograms of downforce. Both versions get special ceramic brakes to help them slow down from those crazy speeds, and some seriously cool gold-colored calipers. They also up the power by adding a new kind of inverter for the rear motor. It sounds a little bit like something out of a sci-fi movie, but basically, it helps the car handle more power and go much faster. To deal with all that extra power, they've also added stronger gears and a special suspension system that helps the car handle corners really well. Plus, it's got fancy rear-wheel steering and special tires that are designed to handle the car's weight and grip on the track. Speaking of tires, if you're thinking about taking this car to the track, be prepared to spend some extra cash. Regular tires won't hold up to the car's weight and performance, so you'll need some special racing slicks. Whew, that's a lot of information to take in. But let's still get down to the real nitty-gritty, the specs. This electric beast packs a serious punch, thanks to a special new part called a pulse inverter. With this upgrade, the Taycan Turbo GT cranks out a whopping 778 horsepower, which is already super impressive. But wait, there's more. If you use launch control, that number jumps all the way up to 1,019 horsepower. For a crazy 2 seconds, it can even hit a mind-blowing 1,093 horsepower. Imagine that. Enough power to launch you from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 2.3 seconds with launch control. The Weissach package shaves off even more time, getting you there in a blistering 2.2 seconds. Speaking of speed, the standard Taycan Turbo GT can hit a top speed of 180 miles per hour. The Weissach package, with its lighter weight, punches that even further to 189.5 miles per hour. There's also a special mode called Attack Mode. That's like a supercharged boost button. Think of it as a shot of nitrous for your electric car, pushing the paddle behind the steering wheel and get you an extra 161 horsepower for 10 whole seconds. Perfect for overtaking slower cars or getting out of tight corners. And so that's the insane power and speed of the Taycan Turbo GT. But what about filling it up? Since it's electric, we're talking about electrons, not gasoline. Just like the other updated Taycans, the Turbo GT can juice up super fast thanks to its fancy 800-volt charging system. In perfect conditions, it can go from 10 to 80% charged in just 18 minutes. That's quicker than grabbing lunch on the go. Of course, the real speed depends on a few things. The battery temperature needs to be just right, and you need to find a charging station that can handle all that power. If you're stuck at a slower charger, it might take a bit longer, around 33 minutes for the same amount of juice. For a full charge from an empty at home, you're looking at least 11 hours plugged in. Now, the official range of the Taycan Turbo GT is pretty impressive. Especially with the Weissach package that shaves off some weight, it can go up to 344 miles on a single charge. The regular version isn't far behind, and honestly, how you drive will probably make a bigger difference in range than those missing back seats. Obviously, blasting around a racetrack isn't going to get you anywhere near that official range. But with clever systems that capture energy when you slow down and other techie stuff, you should still be able to enjoy more laps on the track in a Taycan than most other electric cars. So, the Taycan Turbo GT is definitely a monster on the track and can fill up its battery super fast. But what about the inside? Let's take a look. The interior is pretty similar to other Taycan models, but with a sportier twist. There's a lot of black, race-inspired material called race tax, which some people might find a bit dark. I personally like the sporty feel though, especially with the carbon fiber bucket seats. These seats are perfect for holding you in tight during those crazy fast corners. If you're not a fan of bucket seats, or if you think it's crazy that a car this expensive has manual seat adjustments, don't worry. You can get comfy 18-way electric seats instead at no extra cost. Now, here's something I don't quite understand. The Weissach package gets rid of the back seats and replaces them with a carbon fiber panel and some extra storage space. Sure, it saves some weight, but wouldn't it be more fun to launch this beast from 0 to 62 miles per hour with 3 friends on board? Maybe just invest in some seat covers for those wild rides. Actually, speaking of the Weissach package, that's kind of a big decision when it comes to buying a Taycan Turbo GT. Do you want the weight-saving package or not? Here's the crazy part. It doesn't cost any extra. So, it really comes down to how much attention you want to draw and how many people you need to carry. If you do go with the Weissach package, you can even get some special graphics to make your car stand out even more. Another cool thing is you can upgrade the headlights to a more advanced version for free. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Now, let's talk about the competition. There really isn't anything else out there quite like the Taycan Turbo GT. The Tesla Model S Plaid is fast, but it doesn't handle nearly as well, and you can't even buy a right-hand drive version anymore. The Lucid Air seems like a great car, but it's not quite as focused on performance. And of course, there are plenty of super fast gasoline-powered cars, but that's a whole different story. So, the big question remains, should you buy a Taycan Turbo GT? Honestly, it's a tough call. This car feels like an answer to a question nobody really asked. And sure, Porsche knows their customers, but is the Turbo GT really what electric car enthusiasts are craving? Let's break it down. If you're looking for a pure track car, Porsche already has some amazing gasoline-powered options. If you just want a luxurious electric car, there are other Taycan models that offer almost everything this one does without the crazy price tag. The Taycan Turbo GT is definitely a cool car, a great showcase of Porsche's electric engineering expertise, but it feels more like a way for Porsche to flex their muscles and see how fast they can go, rather than a car designed to truly connect with drivers on an emotional level. And that's it for our first look at the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT. This electric beast is definitely a head-turner with insane power, lightning-fast charging, and surprisingly spacious interiors. But is it the new EV King? Well, that depends on what you're looking for. It's a great showcase of Porsche's electric engineering, but it might be a bit too focused on raw speed and not enough on everyday driving fun. Should you buy one? Well, that depends on your priorities. If you have a ton of money to burn and want the absolute fastest electric car on the track, then maybe. But for most people, there are probably better options out there. To see more options, remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. In the comments below, let us know what you think of the Taycan Turbo GT. Is it the ultimate electric car, or is it just a super-powered show-off? We want to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Current Car Collection.